Welcome everybody to the Elite Ambitions Training Warm-Up Team. We're here to give you a little bit of insight to our warm-up and how we conduct it. We would like to let you know the tools you need to use, the proper technique that you need to use, because we are sticklers for techniques around here. All you need is this little resistance band. You can go grab it from Walmart, Target, somewhere like that in the sporting goods department. We of course have something a little bit more efficient that just lets us wrap around our legs that we'll be using. Our trainer here, Valen Jackson, will be here to demonstrate the warm-up for you. He'll let you know how it goes. I'll take him through it. We'll show some points that you need to be noticing, and we'll show you some things that you need not to be doing. So we'll be taking you through it. The first warm-up that we have is to get warm, get the hips warm, get the legs over, what we call is hip overs. So Valen will start. And typically, what we have here is we have a large area of space, but wherever you are, you may be in your home or somewhere around that part where you don't have as much space as us. We typically go 10 yards, but what that equals out to is 12 to 15 reps of anything you're doing. So Valen will basically show you the hip over exercises. So he will go over and take steps. So since we're doing 12 to 15, we'll go in sets of 4. We'll go in reps of 4, excuse me. So he'll go 4 that way, come back 4 the other way. So notice what Valen is doing. Valen is keeping his hips square. Valen's hips are not rotating out. Show him rotating out towards Valen when he goes. So his hips are not rotating in and out. His hips are staying square. So with that, we have 12 to 15 reps of that going each way. So now we go to step squat, and what we call step squat here is he basically steps, squats, ball out, comes back up, steps over, squats again, and then we continue that in sequence, whether he does 3 reps up to 12 or vice versa. 4 reps, 5 reps, however you get to 12. Now the big key to this is squat. Now everybody does a squat, everybody has done a squat before. I've seen a million squats done, and they're all typically done the wrong way, in my opinion. So when I see squats, this is what I typically see, especially for athletes who typically deal with large amounts of weights, want to take the pressure off our back. Yes, that lets us do more heavier weight, but what happens is we're not strengthening all the muscles in our back that we need to be working on in the first place. So what eventually happens is when the squat goes down, the squat will break at the hips, an athlete will break at the hips, and his back will typically go down like that. He'll be low, great parallel form, but what happens is we're taking the pressure all off the back. Now come up for me, Valen. Now, how other people, non-athletes, tend to do is they tend to break at the knees. And what happens is when you break at the knees, your hips that way, your knees goes in front of your toes. What that does is now you're grinding bone on bone. We're now using our bones to get up instead of using our legs and our muscles in our legs in order to propel us up. And more so, a squat is more determined on the hips and your core more so than it is on your quads and your knees. That is the biggest misconception. So what I tell people to do is I tell them to barely bend your knees, Valen, for me. I mean barely. Now stick your butt out. Now when you stick your butt out, what typically happens too is your upper body will go forward. Now what I want you to do is I want you to throw your shoulders back. So now Valen's shoulders are thrown back. Now when you feel that, he wants to try to ride down backwards, sticking his butt out. Now notice how flat his back is and how parallel he is. Now let's get those arms down right there. Now notice how he's almost like a chair. I tell people to imagine yourself like a chair with the back legs taken out. That's how we want it. If we put a chair right there, we'll be almost perfect. So then we'll even let him get right there. So Valen feels all that around his core, okay? So that's a perfect squat. Weight on your heels, going back, now we come back up. So we do that in sequence, okay? Now what we have next is we have what we call the constant squat or continuous squat. So what Valen will do is just hit that squat position again, and typically, you don't even have to get as low as you were. If you feel that pain in your back, because you're going to feel a sharp pain in your back that comes if you're doing it correctly. And what that does is allows us to take care of the muscles in our back that we need to be doing. So sets of 4, three times, back and forth. That ends up being part of the warm-up. Now what we also have is what we call step backs for our more advanced athletes or clients. What we do is called step backs. So what Valen's going to do is a step back is he's going to get in a quarter squat position. Back straight, shoulder blades pinched up top, And so what we're gonna do is we're gonna step out wide. We're gonna step out wide and long to where we get that leg straight on our toes. So notice how he's almost in a lunge position, weight on his heel here. Now what we're gonna do is, staying down in that same squat position, we're gonna snap that right leg back in front to squat position that he was in. Right there. Now while we're staying down, we're gonna let that left leg go back also. Up, see, lost his balance. Now, without raising up, he's gonna snap that leg back, okay? So this is what normally happens is when you're not conditioned to do this, and no matter who you are, you're gonna be in pain when you do these exercises. So what typically happens is a person will go down, they'll go down, and then what'll happen is they'll shift all their weight to this side to get it over there. Now to get that leg back up, they raised their whole back and took all the momentum and used it towards their exercises instead of keeping a stable base and letting your ligaments, or excuse me, letting your limbs do the work. Now, if you can see it from the front, what you'll see is Valen goes down. Now, as Valen never comes up, if I put my hand right here, Valen never comes up over my hand. That's called leverage, playing with leverage, having leverage. That's what we do, that's what we focus on. So you go down, hit your 4, come back, hit your 4. Get up to 12 to 15 reps, okay? Each time we do that. Now that's part of the warm-up without the bands. Next thing we do is we throw the bands up. If you're an intermediate or a beginner and you're not sure, your legs are feeling a little bit shaky now, you don't want to push it, all you need to do is go through the squat again, the squat, come up with the band, boom, and then we're going to do a constant squat again, okay? Boom, stand down, all with the band, okay? Now with the band, what we don't want to do is we don't want to let our legs come together close. We always want to keep tension in the band, so we don't want this. We always want a good base, shoulder width apart, okay? So now Valen with the band, what we have is flutters. And also, like I said, these bands right here are a little bit different. You can already put them on your legs. These right here, you need to tie them up above your knees, get them right here, and you're good. Right above the knees, boom, same thing he has. Those are just a little bit more convenient. Now, what Valen has is called flutters. What we're gonna do is we're gonna get a good squat position, back straight, come up a little bit right there. What we're gonna do is go out 3 times with our legs, controlling it slow. 1, 2, 3. He's gonna hop up again. He's gonna do it again. Now, what we don't want is, we don't want you, go back down for me, Valen. We don't want you just letting it snap, going fast, boom. Boom, especially on the way in. We want to control that in a slow, controlled motion, taking care of the muscles in our body. So, once again, 3 sets of that, up to 12, and now we come back, we drop it down below to our ankles. So, now we're going to have our feet shoulder width apart. What we're gonna do is we're gonna act like we're drilled into the ground from the top, like we're just drilled into the ground. Our legs are locked out. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna step forward with our right leg. We're gonna let our right leg do the work, step straight forward. We don't wanna twist our hips. We don't wanna go this way. We wanna step exactly where our leg was, right in front, okay? We're gonna control it back to the middle where we were. We're gonna go backwards, we're gonna point that toe. We're gonna come back to the middle, okay? And then he's gonna step to the right. Boom, to gain ground. And we're gonna do it all over again. Show him again, from the side. Keep that leg locked up. Now what Valen is doing, he's letting all his glutes do the work. No back, no momentum, no shifting over to this leg to get it back. Everything staying stable and using these extremities to work. Now, you also have to gain ground, so of course we take our steps, we take our steps this way to gain ground. Don't let our legs come together like this. Always want to keep tension in the band and control it. We don't want to let anything snap off, and we don't want to be shifting weights to get over and lift that leg up or do anything else. It's all about control in these exercises, and once you're able to do these are going to help you become healthy for life and for everything you do, not only for your sport but for life. Now what we have is we just have constant side walks. Now Valen's going to take everything that we just did and we're just gonna sidewalk. And we're just gonna step to the side, keeping our legs as straight as possible. What typically happens is people lean to the side to get that leg up like that. We wanna stay straight. We wanna keep that base straight and let that leg do the work, okay? Thank you, Bailey. So now the last exercise part of the warm-up, okay? Is we're gonna face backwards. Now this one is typically used, and you can face this way right here, Bailey, face that wall. This one is typically used in a larger area. So, Bailey's gonna start as wide as he possibly can. He's gonna get on his tippy toes. He's gonna stay like his upper body's in the ground still. But we're gonna waddle backwards, okay? Then we're gonna turn around, and we're gonna do it again. All right, that's our warm-up. Legs might feel a little bit shaky after this. Back might be hurting. Quads might be on fire. But if you do these every day, 3 times a week, at least, minimum, you will start to see a difference in your flexibility. You will start to see a difference in your leverage. And you'll start to see a difference in your life. Guaranteed. Take it from me. Broke my back, hip surgery, all at the same time. Did these exercises, came back stronger, faster than ever. Thank you very much. Elite Ambitions.